Okay, welcome to Frontier Opening Bell. It's a Friday, the 10th of December. I am Bosin Amofaye. Welcome to the show this day. Let's look at these markets for our Thursday closing numbers. The Nigerian market slumped yesterday 1.77%. No thanks to Dangote Cement, the largest capitalized company on the Nigerian bourse. Massive selling down by investors in the banking space, with big names such as FBN Holdings, the parent company of First Bank of Nigeria. We're expecting an announcement today from the Nigerian Stock Exchange as to who's been buying the hundreds of millions of shares in FBN Holdings since the start of the week. The battle for the majority shareholder position of the bank is still out there between some of Nigeria's biggest billionaires, two of them to be precisely speaking. So we'll keep an eye open for that particular announcement to come through within the next 24 hours by the Nigerian Exchange Limited. Then you got the BRVM in Cote d'Ivoire up by 14 basis points. Egyptian market went up on nearly 0.75%. The Nairobi bourse went up 0.67% yesterday. We saw some of the names in the green territory. Then you have the GSE down by 27 basis points, with a strong correlation as an emerging market with the rest of the developed and emerging markets. The concerns about the new Omicron variant affected the GSE yesterday, along with the rest of the developed equities market and a few other assets, including oil prices, gold prices as well. Sentiment were negative to the downside yesterday as we head to the weekend. Let's look at the East Africa region was making headlines this Friday. The Kenya has paid China about 29, nearly 30 billion shillings. The whole idea is to prevent a debt standoff or a face-off with Beijing. So that's the whole way to sidestep it. Part of the money that Kenya is owing the Chinese. The Kenya's mobile money transaction jumps 38%, about 5.6 trillion shillings in the first 10 months of this year. That's reporting January to the end of October. On the back of this, of course, everyone knows is the Safaricom's M-Pesa. The coffee prices fell about 3% at the Nairobi Commodities Exchange because of the quality of being produced by farmers. And Uganda has made it again as Africa's number one regulator when it comes to electricity. The EFDB group has an annual index for all regulatory agencies in the electricity sector or power sector in Africa. And for the fourth year in a row, Uganda remained the number one on that annual index ranking that was released just 2 days ago by the EFDB based in Cote d'Ivoire. Then the Bank of Tanzania has awarded licenses to the fourth Bureau de Change operator in the country. Okay, take me to West Africa, where the Nigerian central bank has given an approval in principle to Sterling Bank, a tier 2 lender, to form another commercial bank, which is called Alternative Bank Limited. We'll get to hear more about why this bank needs an Alternative Bank Limited, and this will join the number of banks that are recently growing in number on Broad Street. And then the Nigerian Exchange Group PLC yesterday formally unveiled its NG Clearing, which is a third-party counterparty organization and system to process products, clearing settlement of products such as derivatives, as the Nigerian Exchange looks to mainstream derivatives trading in the Nigerian market moving forward. Today, we'll be hearing from the top management and directors of International Breweries PLC, briefing the market and then doing the online virtual closing of today's trading day at 2:30 Nigerian time. Afrexim Bank is putting $5 billion in two tranches of $2 billion and $3 billion behind UTM Offshore and Nigerian oil and gas companies to build the country's first liquefied natural gas, floating one, by the way. So keep that in mind. Then you've got Ghana. Says to sign a strategic agreement of cooperation with Guyana. And of course, in Gabon, Perenco says he's bought the Total Energies assets, two of them, for $350 million US. Okay, let's go to Southern Africa, and the whole story around the COVID-19 pandemic. Omicron is still out there. So the African Center for Disease Control says governments across the continent may need to start mandating vaccines if their citizens refuse to take those vaccines voluntarily. This is becoming a bit of an issue. Overnight, we heard that the U.S. Senate has said no to plans by Joe Biden's administration to force Americans to take vaccines against the coronavirus. And South Africa is holding its fingers over the lockdown button, considering or weighing very carefully the economic impact of another lockdown or reversal to those lockdown months by Africa's most advanced economy. And the unrest, looting, arson, the whole problem in the Gauteng and the KwaZulu-Natal province in July had cost about 158 million rand a pullback for the plans that Tonga Hulet had in terms of expanding its business in South Africa as one of the retailers. Eskom is asking for a permission to raise electricity tariff in South Africa by 20.5% from April of 2022. In Zimbabwe, AFC Holdings has appointed a new chief executive officer, Francis Macheka. Okay, let's sum it all up for you in the North African markets, where Egypt is says the foreign exchange reserves touch about $34 billion in the month of November. Non-oil exports for this leading African economy rose 26% to about $26.9 billion in the first 10 months of this year. In the meantime, the Central Bank of Egypt yesterday sold about 15 billion Egyptian pounds in the market. And Morocco's official reserve assets rose 10% to about $39.7 billion at the end of November. That's 11-month period reporting. Then Tunisia's Propaco and UIB said they've signed a deal worth about 3.25 million dinars to help small and medium enterprises in Tunisia. And that's about it for today, Friday. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Remember to go online. Go to our www.Frontier Africa Reports for more on us, on this and other stories that we have. Visit our YouTube. Subscribe. It is free. Follow us on Twitter, on LinkedIn, Instagram, and other social media, as well as Facebook. I am Bosin Amofaye, and I will see you next time.